Hello, artsy friends. I have an unboxing for you from St. Louis Art Supply. I'm so excited. Just got this. And isn't this cute? They put a little gnome on the, they stamped it onto the receipt. That's so cute. All right, let's see what's in here. Ooh, nice. These are mini butcher trays. Wow, that is nice. Those are super heavy. These are for doing color mixing. Let's put these over here, just in case I want to use those. So I got 3 of them for mixing different color families. So if I wanted to do reds, and I wanted to do blues and greens, something like that, then I could put them into separate trays. Oh, aren't they cute? I'm in love already. And next, let's look at the watercolors that I got. The first watercolor is a Schminke Horadam Signature Edition. I saw it in their email and I just had to have it immediately. It's called Cologne Bridge Green. That's going to be a lot of fun to swatch. And then here, yes, I got some Daniel Smith colors, but not just any Daniel Smith colors. These are the Daniel Smith Lunar colors. So they were selling a set of all the lunar colors at St. Louis Art Supply, and that's what I grabbed. So let's take a look at these. Yes, what do we have? We have Lunar Black, Lunar Red Rock, Lunar Earth, Lunar Blue, and Lunar Violet. I know a lot of people have spoken about the Lunar Blue. I've seen in quite a few videos. So I thought I would give the whole set a try and see what they're like. So what we're going to do first is we're going to swatch these in my Painter's Color Diary watercolor. It's a 9x12 book, but you can also get a smaller travel guide version. And this is where, in previous videos, I did the Winsor Newton professional colors. And so let's grab a new page. I mentioned before, these are beautiful because they have a piece of glassine in between the pages to protect your paints. And that is lovely. So let's move these out of the way here. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so much fun. And I'm going to write at the top here. I'm going to use my Micron pen, which is great. They give you plenty of room here to write. And this is going to be Daniel Smith, this page. Okay, so let's start with the Lunar Earth, which is the lightest color. Woo! Okay, they're juicy. They're juicy. It's jumping right out of there. And what does it say that the pigments are? PBR 11. Huh, that's the only one it shows in there. Interesting. PBR 11. All right, I'm already getting dirty. So let me get cleaned up here. Then the next one is, let's go ahead and swatch that and so that we can see the effects of it as it dries. This is just my Princeton Velvet Touch. And there's your mass tone, quite opaque. And then let's add some more water here. Nice. Beauteous. Loving it. Let's lift up a little bit of that so you can see. These are famous for granulating. So this is a very, as it says, earthy color, Lunar Earth. Let's do this right now. I'll just put Lunar Earth right there. This one is Red Rock. Let's see if this one jumps out of the tube like Lunar Earth did. Yep. Oh my gosh, they are so full and juicy. There's even a bunch right inside here. Let me go ahead and get that out. I don't want to waste it. Right there. And we'll just put that right in there. Nice. I'm going to have to do a lot of paintings to use up this paint now, aren't I? Let's go ahead and put that top back on. So that was Lunar Red Rock. Wow. Let's get that out of there. Very, very, very dense, isn't it? That's super dense. Okay. And we'll pick some of that up. Super dense. Wow. And very gummy. Very, very gummy, which means you've got to use a lot of water with it. So that's the mass tone. You'll notice it's covering up the black completely. And then we'll pull it down with lots of water here. And let's see what happens. There we go. A beautiful, to me it looks like, both of these look like the plains out in Arizona. Those stones that have that gorgeous red and very earthy color. All right, what are we gonna do next? Let's do the Lunar Blue next. Let's lift this straight up. Yep. Okay, good, that was a little bit easier. Do y'all find it difficult to get the lids back on some of your watercolor paints? Okay, let's do this. Get some of that Lunar Blue, and let's see what happens. It's quite a dense color. It almost, to me, has a green undertone to it. And let's just work it out with a little bit of water. See what happens. Okay, I'm loving this. I see why everybody adores this color. You have some light granulation there, and it's just wow. To me, that's a starry night right there. That would make a beautiful starry night. Let's look at the Lunar Violet. Okay, good. That one did not jump out of the tube. There we go. It feels a little bit drier, this one. All right, let's see the violet in this one. Nice. It looks black in its mass tone. Look at that. It looks black. It covers over that black line. But let's add some water and see what happens, because in the palette here I can see some violet color, some violet coloration. Yeah, it's a very, very muted violet. I would actually add a little more violet to it to make it a little more vibrant, but that's just me. And let's do the Lunar Black. Whoa, okay, here we go again. Jumping out of the tube. Wow. So let's pick up some of that Lunar Black. I know a lot of people love this Lunar Black too, so let's see what it does. It's got a nice gray undertone to it. That is a cool black to me. Almost looks green under it. Let's see what happens when we add more water. Interesting thing here is that the purple appeared to cover up that black line, but now that it's drying, you can see the black line better. All right, there we have just a beautiful gray, neutral gray, almost to the cool side, and I could see popping that into a lot of shadows. This violet's turning more violet now that it's drying too. Isn't that crazy? Now let's do this Schminke Horadam. I don't have very many Schminke watercolors. And so let's put this on a new page. And I'm just going to flip this over like this to a new page and let that sit up so it can dry. It's sitting on top of some things there. And let's put Schminke here. Oop. So it is Schminke. I am very excited for this color. It is Cologne Bridge Green. Let's do it over top of, oops, it looks like, yes, we're good there. See, now that was very respectable. It didn't jump out of the of the tube. Look at that color. It almost reminds me of a cobalt green or cobalt teal. Let's see if it says anything. Wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 pigments in here. Lots and lots of pigments, including a PW6, which means there's some white in it to make it opaque. Let's pick it up and see what it looks like. We'll get the mass tone here. It is also quite thick and gummy, straight out of the tube. And then let's add a little bit of fresh water. There we go. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for that light green. Let's lift some of it back up. There you go. That light green makes my heart sing. There we are. So those are the swatches, and let's put these to the test on some paper. I cleaned my water because it got quite dirty from these bold dark colors, and we're going to be working on a plein air watercolor art boards from Canson to do a test artwork. And this is a beautiful thick board, and it's attached, it's gum attached up here. So we're going to start out by doing a few color mixes. I'm going to use my size 10 Princeton, and I wanted to color mix a little bit to see what would happen with these colors, because this looks similar to a yellow ochre, a very warm yellow ochre, right? So I thought I'd throw that in with some Lunar Blue and see what happens. So let's take a little bit of the Lunar Blue. Oh, we're getting an umber, kind of like a burnt umber color there. And what else would be a good blend here? Let's do this earth color, red earth. Wow, that one is super strong. And it leaves a lot of color in the brush, so before I go pick up my other color, I'm going to get most of the color out of here. And then I'm going to pick up some of the violet and see what happens to it when I add the violet in there. It just cools off the color. And ooh, that looks like a potter's pink, very similar to a potter's pink. Let's get a piece of test watercolor paper. So I like to use the Canson XL watercolor paper for playing on and testing on. So let's take a look at that. Yeah, look at that. That looks almost like a potter's pink. If I add more water to it, there we are. We have a potter's pink, and that was a combination of the red earth and the violet, lunar violet. So lunar earth, lunar red rock, and lunar violet gives us this soft potter's pink. And I see separation in this one, which was the lunar blue and the lunar earth. Wow, that looked very interesting. Let's see if it actually separates on the paper itself as it dries. Let's see what happens here. So right now it just looks like a kind of a brownish color, but in the pan it's separated, so the blue separated out as it dried. We'll see what happens there. Now, what other color can we do? What other color combination? Let's do this. I'm actually going to clean this up a little bit here. And let's do, I like blacks and yellows together. They tend to give a very interesting green. So let's put that lunar earth right there. And then I'm going to pick up some of the lunar black, which is granulating right here. I could see Oh, that's too much. Okay, I'm starting to see a green undertone. Interesting, interesting. Let me add some more of, oh, let's get that black out of there. Let's add some more of the Lunar Earth and see if we can get a green starting to show up. Nope, back to brown. Back to being a brown. Again, another umber type color. There we go. So that was the Lunar Earth, and the black gave us a nice warm umber. All right. And I want to play with this green from the Schminke. And so let's put some of the Schminke green in here. And I want to add to it the Lunar Earth and see what happens. See if that lightens it up. Or gives it a, it should give it a nice warm color. Let's put that in there. Oh, interesting. We're beginning to go toward olive. It's a light brown. It looks almost like a raw sienna. Okay, not my favorite color. Let's add a little bit more of the green in there. There we go. Now we've got an olive. Now we're tending more toward the olive. That would make a beautiful shadow on leaves, wouldn't it? So that was the Lunar Earth and the Schminke Cologne Bridge Green. All right, so I did get myself a kind of an olive green going there. I want to try this Cologne Bridge Green with some of the Lunar Blue. So let's put a little bit of the Lunar Blue in there. See what happens. Wow. Okay. I'm loving that. Loving, loving, loving that. Nice. Nice, nice. Beautiful, beautiful color. It's a blue-green, and I do love the blue greens. I think my favorite is the Potter's Pink, which was this red together with, which one? The violet. The red and violet were my favorite. All right. Let's take these color experiments then and go into our artwork. I'm going to start by doing a suggestion of a landscape with a Sailor Fude pen, and I've put in it this sketch ink by Rohrer and Klingner. And the nice thing about the sketch ink is that this is kind of a brown color, but the nice thing about it is it's permanent when it's dry. So let's use this Sailor Fude de Manin pen and sort of give the suggestion of a landscape here. All right, and then here. And this ink will be dry lickety-split. I just love that about it. And then let's go here. Okay. Just a little suggestion. Now, if I hit it right away with water, it will run. Let's see if it's still wet. It is already dry. Isn't that amazing? I love these sketch inks for that. They're fantastic. Let's do this blue-green up front here. Oh, I can see I have my smaller brush for details. Let's go back to the bigger brush so it holds more water. This is the size 10. The other one was a size 6. Ooh, I like where this is going. It's separating too. And grab some more of this blue-green right here. Nice. The advantage of these lunar colors is that they separate as they dry, and you can see it right in here. Can you see how this one is separated in the tin? so the colors granulate heavily. Let's do some of this Lunar Blue by itself up in here. Nice. Because you know I want to go for the drama for the sky. So I'm going to start out with Lunar Blue, get a little heavier as we go up. Let's add a little bit more in there to deepen it. And then, what am I going to do next? I'm going to grab the violet, of course. Let's bring the violet up in there. And I want to do a combination of the violet and the blue up here. Nice. Now if I wanted a very dark, airy sky, I would just go much thicker. There we go. So there's a lot more color on the brush there. Nice. Okay. That gives me a good feel for what's going on there. Let's get into, we're going to want light earthy colors back here and darker earthy colors closer to us, right? So I'm going to start with the darker and do the red rock in the background. Uh-oh, this is such a strong color. What's gonna happen? Beautiful. The thing is that I'm gonna want to drop in some of the lighter color. Or why don't we drop in some Lunar Blue? Why not? Just to see what happens. Didn't have much effect. Let's try a little more. There. A little more sort of drama in the background there. Now I'm going to lift some of that out because to me the color is too dark. There we go. Now you're talking. And let's, what am I going to grab next? I'm going to be grabbing this Lunar Earth and dropping this in. And I do want some variation there, so we're going to play with some variations on that. I love what this is doing up here. That sky makes me very happy. And I'm actually going to drop some of this Lunar Earth into the bottom area here. Why not? To just grab a little more drama in there. And go with Lunar Earth up here. What I like is when the colors bleed into each other. So I do that a lot, where I put the dark color and then the lighter color and just let them bleed while it's still wet just a little bit. Let's go with more of this Lunar Earth. And then, whoop, a little bit of water got on there. Don't want that to mess up my blues. Let's go with over here where we combined this Lunar Earth with the beautiful green. It's separating in the pan, but it doesn't always do that on the paper. Let's see what happens when we bring that in. It almost gives me a foresty feel. Yeah, I like where it's going. Okay. Let's bring more of this beautiful green into the foreground. I'm so excited about this green. Yeah, there we go. This is the green straight up. In the foreground, stronger foreground because the foreground is the closest to us. Very simple and effective. We can start to see the granulation up here of the lunar colors. I see why people love that Lunar Blue. Wow. But the Lunar Violet, I'm loving the Lunar Violet as well. Okay. Let's go ahead. I want some of this Potter's Pink that I made with the Lunar Red Rock and the Violet. There's just something about that I really love it. Let's bring it in here. Now it's going to blend in with this green. Now, I'm feeling like this color is too close to here, so I'm going to just use water and come back in and lift some of that out because I want the color to be more pale. I want it to be more pale along there. There, that's better. So there's more separation. And I'm going to go with more of the Lunar Red. I'm surprised that I'm using as much of the Lunar Red as I am, but I want to throw a little bit more of this Lunar Red in this area so that there's more of a separation between the base of the mountain here, or the hill, and the greenery, the fields. And of course I want it to bleed, so I'm going to add a bunch more water to it. Let's bleed it up. There we go. All right, that's very pretty, pretty, pretty. I'm in love with this Cologne Bridge Green. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. One of my favorite types of colors. And why don't we do something in the background here? Let's create a dark green. So I'm going to grab some of the Cologne green. How about something a little more earthy? And put some of the earth in there. And then, ooh, do I want black? Do I want blue? Do I want black? Do I want blue? Let's start with blue and see what we get. Okay, that's kind of a darkish green, but not dark enough for me. Oh my gosh, black, black. It comes, the black is so strong. Let's do that. See what I mean about strong? Wow, okay. So what I wanted to create was a background green, so I could use that for some trees on the horizon. So that worked. That worked. I did the Cologne green, the Lunar Blue, and a little bit of black. And that got me a darkish green black. And let's go ahead and I'm going to drop some trees. Nothing fancy here. Just experimenting with dropping some forest in the background there. What I like about these brushes is the way they have a snappy tip, so it makes it very easy to drop in these marks. All right, so this is closer to us, so I'm actually going to make the trees a little bit bigger. Let's put a little bit of, and let's bring it down a little bit. Marks, 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 marks. And down this way. This is still wet down in here, so I can see it's running. It is better if you try to do this when the underlayer is dry. All right, let's bring a little bit more in here. There we go. All right, that was fun. What else do I want to do here? Anything? Nothing? I think I want to do a little bit of reflection of the sky. So I'm going to take a little bit of the blue and I'm going to put it with some of the green. So it gives me a little bit darker color there. And I'm just going to drop that in sort of here. So I want to give a hint that the landscape is reflecting that sky. Okay. And because I'm a mixed media artist, most likely I will come back later and I will add in other mark making with other tools. But I wanted to show you the effect, the basic effects of these lunar colors. And I can tell you, I definitely am loving them. I love the way they mix. My favorite has to be mixing my Potter's Pink with the Lunar Red Rock and the Lunar Violet. I am loving that because I love the Potter's Pink color. I like the drama of the purple, the violet up in the sky here. And of course, this Cologne Bridge Green just makes my heart sing. So I do adore that. All right, I hope you enjoyed this demonstration and the swatching of the lunar paints from Daniel Smith and the signature edition Cologne Bridge Green from Schminke. Have fun painting and have an artsy day. Bye.